Dear students, today we are going to talk about buildings above the clouds. Open your books at page 92, exercise 1. Listen to the music. Imagine you are in one of the buildings in the pictures. What can you see through the windows? How do you feel?
I can see other tall buildings below me, but all around I can see only the sky and some clouds. I feel scared to be so high up.
I feel excited. It's like I'm on top of the world.
Exercise 2. What do you know about skyscrapers?
Skyscrapers are tall buildings made from steel.
What is the origin of the word skyscraper?
The word skyscraper comes from the name sailors gave to the tallest mast on a ship.
Before reading the text, let's get acquainted with new words. Listen to them and write down in your vocabularies.
Apartment, beam, cathedral, develop, elevator, impressive, living space, mast, sailor, skyline, steel, story.
And now let's listen and read the text.
Buildings above the clouds. Big buildings are nothing new. The ancient Egyptians built the pyramids. The Italians built tall towers in the Middle Ages. The French built huge cathedrals. However, it was difficult to build very tall buildings because the bricks were not strong enough. Then in 1852, Elisha Otis invented the elevator, and in the 1880s, engineers developed a new building technique using steel. It was now possible to build tall buildings with strong steel without worrying how to get to the top. In big cities such as Chicago and New York that needed living space for families and offices for businesses, skyscrapers were the perfect solution. Some very brave men worked on these buildings as it was a dangerous job. Imagine walking along narrow beams hundreds of feet above the ground. For this reason, Mohawk Indians from Canada and ex-sailors did most of the work as they were not scared of heights. In fact, the word skyscraper comes from the name sailors gave to the tallest mast on a ship. In 1885, the world's first skyscraper, a 10-story office building, opened in Chicago. Between 1930 and 1931, the Empire State Building grew almost one floor higher every day. The 3,400 men who worked on it finished it in 14 months. These days, skyscrapers decorate every city skyline, and each year taller and taller buildings appear all over the world. At present, the world's tallest building is the Burj Khalifa in the United Arab Emirates. With over 1,200 stores, this building is a city in itself. Astana, the capital of Kazakhstan, also has its share of skyscrapers. The Triumph of Astana is one of the most impressive. It was finished in 2006 and it has 39 floors with shops, offices, apartments and a hotel. Who knows what's next? The sky is the limit.
Exercise 3. Let's answer the questions. Why couldn't people build really tall buildings in the past? Bricks weren't strong enough and they didn't have steel or elevators. When could people start building skyscrapers? from the 1880s. How did the invention of the elevator change the history of the building? People could build tall buildings without worrying how to get to the top. Why did people want to build skyscrapers in cities? They needed living space and offices for business. Why are tall buildings called skyscrapers? Because many ex-sailors worked on them, and it is their word for the tallest mast on a ship. How fast did the Empire State Building grow? 1 floor a day. What can you find in the Triumph of Astana in Kazakhstan? You can find shops, offices, apartments, and a hotel.
Did you know? The Empire State Building is struck by lightning 100 times a year.
Now you are to say 3 things that impressed you from the text.
I was impressed that the elevator was invented in 1852. I was impressed that ex-sailors and Mohawk Indians built the skyscrapers. I was impressed that today there is a building with 1,200 stores.
What is the author's purpose?
The author's purpose is to inform and entertain because he or she presents interesting information about skyscrapers without making it boring.
Let's watch the video.
Buildings above the clouds. Big buildings are nothing new. In fact, they go way back. The ancient Egyptians built the pyramids. However, it was difficult to build very tall buildings because the bricks were not strong enough. Then, in 1852, Elisha Otis invented the elevator, and in the 1880s, engineers developed a new building technique using steel. It was now possible to build tall buildings with strong steel without worrying about how to get to the top. In big cities such as Chicago and New York that needed living space for families and offices for business, skyscrapers were the perfect solution. Mohawk Indians from Canada and ex-sailors did most of the work, as they were not scared of heights. In 1885, the world's first skyscraper, a 10-story office building, opened in Chicago. Between 1930 and 1931, the Empire State Building grew almost 1 floor higher every day. The 3,400 men who worked on it finished the building in just 14 months. These days, skyscrapers decorate almost every city skyline, and each year, taller and taller buildings appear all over the world. Do you know what the world's tallest building is now? This is the Burj Khalifa. It has theme parks, hotels, cinemas, and one of the largest shopping malls in the world.
In exercise 4, you are to fill in living, skyscraper, steel, brick, elevator, skyline. Now let's check. People use elevators to go up and down a building. Engineers use steel to build strong, tall buildings. Tall buildings provide living space for many families. The Empire State Building is a skyscraper in New York. Burj Khalifa dominates the skyline. He built a brick wall around the garden so that people couldn't see inside. Exercise 5. You are to listen to Jane and Sam talking in a department store. You are to choose the correct item for questions.
we're here. So which department do we want?
The sports department. Look, it's here on the ground floor. I want to buy my brother a present for his birthday. He loves sports.
What do you want to buy him?
Well, he wants a tennis racket, but that's a bit expensive for me. My sister Stacey wants to buy him a basketball, so I think I'm going to buy him a baseball cap.
Good idea. How about this one? It's nice, but it's £17.
OK, well let's see. I've got £20, but I need £5 to buy a birthday card and wrapping paper. So I have £15. Hey, this green one's nice, and I have enough money for it.
Great! Look, the cash desk's over there. Pay, and then I want to buy a DVD. Are there DVDs in the music department?
No, I bought a DVD here last month, and they're in the electrical department on the first floor next to the book department. Which DVD do you want?
It's called 3030 BC.
Oh, I don't know it.
Well, let's be quick. We're meeting Harry at 1 o'clock, and it's 5 to 1 now.
No, Harry's got a piano lesson until 1 o'clock, remember? He's meeting us after that, in 1 hour.
Yes, I remember now.
In exercise 7, you are to find videos and photos about the buildings in the text. You are to prepare a presentation. Let's look at the example.
The Empire State Building is located on 5th Avenue. It is 443 meters tall. The Triumph of Astana is 142 meters tall and was designed by SIASC.
In exercise 8, you are to prepare a poster with buildings in our country. Write a few sentences for each. Let's look at the example.
The Emerald Towers is the tallest building in Kazakhstan. It is 210 meters tall and it is in Astana. It is an office block.
The Northern Light is also in Astana. It is 180 meters tall and it is a residential building. It was built in 2008.